Good evening, everybody. It is indeed almost 6 p.m. Where are we? We are the 27th of May. It's 6 p.m. online for the How, or the clinic session, if you like, the educational. The last in the series before summer. We'll be not doing any more Monday evenings until maybe late August or early September, but we'll see. So, to end on a high note, ideally, we'll have something motivational and something educational. Hi, Ludwig. Good to see you on. Ben, hello. Sarah, Dumele. Nice to have you all on. It is lovely to see you. Dumele ma, I should say. And thank you for your voice message there. It brought back some lovely messages, lovely memories of times gone by when there I lived. Hi Petra, nice to see you on. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We will dive straight in. I am recording it. Something motivational, something educational, a little bit of both. Every day we are faced with countless decisions that can shape our lives. It is essential to remember that we have the power to select and focus our thoughts in every moment. Others will and can behave as they do or wish, often unpredictably and sometimes irrationally. While it is natural to observe and to learn from their behavior, it is crucial not to allow anyone's behavior to cloud our mind, our judgment. And bear in mind that can relate to posts that you read, social media. I did this, I'm buying this market, I'm selling this market, I'm bullish here, bearish there, or news events. We think this is going to move wildly, so dive in and trade it with us, all of that kind of stuff. Don't let that kind of thing in. Don't let it cloud your judgment. Our mind is our most important asset, one that must be safeguarded against, ideally, external influences of any kind. Our thoughts can drive our actions, and if our thoughts are filled with emotions, rage, anger, fear, greed, or unchecked emotions of any kind, our actions will reflect that turmoil. Reason is our best guide, and we use reason always in our trading. It is indeed written in your daily trading plan. Have reason to enter or don't enter. It may be challenging to find reason amidst the chaos sometimes, but it should always be within our reach whilst we observe the charts. Despite the noise on the charts, the chaos of news or other distracting behavior, reason remains a steadfast compass. Safeguarding our reason puts us ahead of others on the path to that elusive peace we all seek. The hardest prison to escape is that of your own mind. Now, a brilliant question that I received from one of our Johns. We have several. This John particularly sent an excellent enough question to deserve a spot in the How clinic, the forum anyway. Many thanks to John for this. He knows who he is. I've thanked him before. A question about divergence. Once it is over, it is easy to see as the bars stop forming. But how do you analyse it when it is still forming? Well, a brilliant question, I thought that was. I'm just going to edit my notes. There it is. How do you analyse it when it is still forming? A brilliant question, and you all know I place a lot of emphasis on divergence. I'm using the dynamic edge here, or the DT2, or whatever you know it as, because it has on it the MACD. So I place a lot of emphasis on divergence. There is a multi-part answer here, so I'm pleased there will be a YouTube recording that will last, let's hope. First, there must be a time when we see lower highs or higher lows on the histogram only. Let me make this one window here bigger. Like that. Let me zoom out, and if we're observing divergence, for instance here, although this is a 3-minute chart and you all know I prefer to see it on the time frame or the weapon of my choice, the time frame I'm trading. So I'm going to scroll back a bit and find a bit of the day where we weren't looking, or where I wasn't looking, and where there were moves. And here we do have some of those. So where was I? A time on the histogram only where we get a lower high, for instance. So we can say divergence. Do we have it here? I'm going to try and find a nice clear place for it, and I think that one's pretty perfect there. Look at that one. Let me put a crosshair on here to check, and indeed, yes, these histogram highs are lower than those histogram highs. So for the moment, much as the price is a bit messy around there, we can see higher highs over lower highs. And what we're looking for then is a change in the histogram, so a lower high here. And if anyone has read Elder's Divergence, then you all know that the lower high, the first lower high after true divergence, is where his signal would be. I still like to see the full signal, but it's in that book. I'm not going to knock it. It is what it is. The histogram only. This is one part. We still need to see the change of color or the cross of lines depending on your platform, and you can all see mine. So there is the change of color from green to red, but not yet do we have a red histogram. Only when the line goes below the dot, then we have a red histogram. And this is 1, 2, 3 parts of the divergence that we're looking for. After divergence, we want to see part 1, the lower high, part 2, the changing color of the line, and part 3, the changing color of the dot, which will mean that the red line has gone below a red dot, or if we're looking at bullish divergence, the green line has gone above a green dot, and thereby we can safely say that divergence has pretty much come to an end. 3 parts then. Otherwise it could keep diverging and we could end up with a MACD scalper pattern. Let's see if that's what one of those is right there. Yes, look, you got higher highs, lower highs up to this point in time, remember, and you get your first lower high, but it turns into a MACD scalper pattern right there and becomes a MACD scalper hopper. So the divergence isn't over until we observe a full signal, and then we're not risking a MACD scalper continuation, and we won't have been caught out by a minor pullback. After that, we can consider the MACD divergence has cast itself in stone, and all we still need to see is the signal depending on what it is you're using of my strategies. You all know which ones are the strongest. Lower highs, nothing there in the way of divergence. It looks like a really, what's the word, weeny kind of a morning. It is Monday, so that's fair enough. Where are we in the evening? We can see some divergence within the indicator there, but we're clearly going up. Let's have a quick look at the long range forecast. Yeah, we've cracked through the 18.9. We're looking at a tip off of 19 before this can die, I would suggest. But let's see. We'll be trading it tomorrow. Let's have a look at what we see. The WXABC that we observed and traded, it's still going absolutely. I think that's the chart I was going to look at. Do we have anything as a sort of a right now? Yeah, right now. There is some. That's a kind of nice one to look at. Higher highs, lower highs, the first low after the high, the change in color of the MACD, the fact that we've gone, the MACD line, the fact that we've gone red, and we have a histogram. We don't have a hopper. And by the time we do get a hopper, we've got more convergence in that there are higher lows, lower lows, some divergence within the indicator. The next higher low, well, it's him. and then we get the change in colour and the breach of the line, the flip of the PR, and a reason to continue long right there. So there you go, we had two things today, something motivational, something educational, in the form of the question, when or how do we see divergence ending? Any questions on that? And did you like it? 3 parts, really. Hopefully I got it clear. You might need to watch it twice because you know what I'm like with my English. I'll call bearish divergence bullish and bullish divergence bearish. But while we're looking at it together, it's usually easy to see, I think. Is that a double top up there? We are battling around another big round number. I think we need, what do we need? We need a break away from it. Yeah, look, we got higher highs, it's convergence. Nothing to be serious or severely worried by. Thanks, Petra. Important. I have to listen to it 10 times. That sounds fair. Let me just run through the last lines again, the notes, just so that we can all cast it in stone. And the first thing first, there must be a time when we see lower highs or higher lows on the histogram only. This is one part. We need to see the change in color or the cross of lines depending on your platform. So this change in color here, the lower high, the change in color, we need to see those two things. Then we consider divergence might well be coming to an end, but in case there's a MACD scalper, the change in color helps us to note, okay, the MACD scalper is not really an option anymore. Higher highs, lower highs equals a sell, that's it, or a drop anyway, a move down, because it doesn't equal a sell signal. In this case, there's a pink line in the way, we don't get a hopper, but yeah, it equals down. Higher highs over lower highs equals enemy being down. Next part, we've seen the change of color of the cross of lines depending on your platform. That represents the other part. If we don't see that, it could keep diverging. Then we need observe and see, ideally the rejection of a line to help us confirm, and that would be here where we're trying to reject the big round number, and that's one of those deep pivots that we talked about last week. It's gone through the line, so you've pushed the ball beneath the surface of the water and it's come springing back above the surface. That's it. Whichever the letter is different out of 4, that's the one. Lower lows over higher lows equals up. We're looking at lows, it's going up. We're looking at highs, it's going down. Brilliant, Petra, absolutely brilliant. So once we see a signal, a hopper combo ideally, as in this, I'd class him as a kind of a hopper combo. Yes, you know the divergence is over. We don't really get a hopper combo here. We get a MACD scalper, but no hopper. It kisses the line and bounces off with a bit of an X, A, B, C, mini W there as well. It's always very pretty in hindsight, but as we discussed at the beginning, if you allow the turmoil of emotion to get the better of you, the hindsight won't get a look in. You'll have been and gone and done it all in advance of anything sensible really happening. That sounds about a good summation of a lot of the feedback I get that is negative. A lot of the positive stuff is, yeah, I just listened for the pattern, I watched for the pattern that you described, and it happened. And there we can see a low that is a higher low than prior lows. It's above the red line, it's below the red line. So we've got a higher low over a lower low. So this would be a good one to analyze, actually. So there are the lower lows, and then we get the next higher low. There's a couple of them along here, and a little bit of divergence within the indicator to boot. So is the divergence over here? It's ending. The change of color from red to green suggests, oh yes, it's very ending, and we can put a crosshair on to measure it bar by bar. Coming to an end, coming to an end. Now we've got higher lows. This would be the first higher low. Well, actually, that would be him. I would suggest the first higher low after true divergence. Yes, I would wait for the signal, the flip of the PSAR, and the green line. Waiting for the green dot as well is no harm. It's during that bar, so it may be when it breaches these highs here. Either way, you're in on or about 18,892.93 with an invalidation of 8 pips and the target of 16. We don't quite get there, do we? But we know we're straddling a big round number. So if you had a stop of 8, if you took 9 above the big round number and it dropped to it, I'd be happy with a 1-to-1 there. But then you all know that I'm a seriously tight git. That's a nice way of analysing higher lows, lower lows, rejection of a line, the higher lows here, the change in colour there, and the absolute confirmation that bullish divergence is over and we are now seeing the resulting move. I hope this was very helpful. There weren't much in questions, but there are some notes there. If you don't have the cheat sheet already, please feel free to copy and paste Petra's notes there. Do you have a favourite chart, e.g. DD2? What's DD2? T2B2 it would be my favourite chart. Is that Karen? That's my favourite. Obviously with a recording that's going to go public, I can't share that one on here. Rosalind, okay Rosalind, nice to see you on. T2B2 would be my favourite, and I know you have access to the recording and the write-up for that. So by all means watch those again, dive in. It's the one we look at in the trading sessions. Go on, I'm going to leg it, everybody, and upload the recording as quickly as I possibly can after this. Please trade safe. I look forward to seeing you all on the next session. Thanks everybody. Bye bye. Trade safe. Oh yeah, Memorial Day, holiday. I think the US is closed. Trade safe everybody. Bye bye.